This episode, it's one I've been waiting a long time to make. There are a couple of really good resources and YouTube creators who make videos about how to start a car that's been sitting for years. Chris Fix, The Junkyard Crew, Kitty's Garage has a really good one too. In them, it's the list of oil change, replace spark plugs, fog the cylinders, get new fuel, check rest of the fluid levels, and each one has their own tips for extra work. I'm going to slim the approach because I sort of know what the root issue is from actually the first episode. Let's get started with an oil change.
Hey, kept it in my hands this time. Took me the longest time to figure out where the filter was.
I've done a few oil changes now, but finding this oil filter was probably the most difficult for me, just because it was covered in grime and looked like the rest of the mess. It doesn't help that I'm putting a black one in as a replacement.
I should, and probably rightfully so, be getting some flack in the comments. I know I did with the probe about using O'Reilly motor oil. Here's the thing. If this works out, theoretically, I don't want this to be a lasting oil change. I just want it to get it to work. So, we're going to use it to get it to work. Does, we will let the next oil change.
I just want to reiterate that I've purchased the cheapest possible parts and fluids for this because I'm not going for performance at this point. I'm just trying to clear away the years.
A good angle, I'm sorry.
My oil changes have come a long way since the first broadcasted oil change with the probe. After that, I replaced the spark plugs. That fourth cylinder is a pain, and I didn't have fogging oil at this work session, so I needed to go through this process again later. Anyway, I feel like an older, more classically designed V8 should be easier to do this job on than my Japanese-designed front-wheel drive V6. I guess that's why newer car enthusiasts go the JDM route? Nah, it's probably more so because of the Fast and Furious franchise. Anyway, I only took video of cylinders 1 through 4, and not even very good video. I'm glad I replaced the spark plugs though, because they were very corroded and 3 even snapped. All that done, let's get some new fuel in there and try this out. And unfortunately, all of our cameras were either too hot or dead before cranking over the engine, but future dated Josh will give you a rundown.
We're working on this tonight, but I want to make sure that there's video evidence of what's going on with our solenoid, with our wires and everything. I just showed you the video of the tire leak, and that's a whole nother issue, but let's get something smoking. we're smoking. You can also tell that the starter is being very sluggish, being very slow. There's possibly some cylinder interference that we're going to try to defog later on tonight. So we're going to do a hard cut, and we'll be back doing some work.
The slow crank is the same as it was in the first episode, but the smoke is new. With the smoke coming out of the wires, there's two possible culprits. Either there's too much resistance for the amount of voltage wanting to be applied to the starter motor, so the starter is failing, or the wires are corroded. I bought a replacement starter motor and new battery cables anyway. On the same trip, I also picked up some fogging spray, and I think from here on out, Josh has some alright narration.
We'll remove the battery and then we'll get started. Don't know if you can see that. That's a lot of buildup from that smoke. This is our starter motor. This is the one cable that we have going into it. It's just grounding to itself, so it's grounding to the engine, which is grounded to the chassis, and it's kind of just how these cars work. We've got two bolts down here holding it on, one below, one up top. I am going to try to get video of taking this guy off and all of it off, but if we don't, this is the excess. Got 3/8 on there. Just got the slow process of taking it off. One-handed. Back to work teaching kids. We've got a mount location for our solenoid to starter motor cable. So we've got our new one. Mounts on it. Sort of rebuilt. Kid snacks. Kids. Okay, so the battery cable is being fed from up there. I'm going to route it down here though. It needs to go onto that bolt. So we're going to feed through there. Okay, so there's our cable that is going to connect to the starter solenoid. We are mounted. Where are we at? We're mounted there. That's the mount point. It's not tightened down yet. I just wanted to show you from top what that looks like when it's, when it's clean. But we will go in from the bottom and we will tighten it down. All right, there's our alternator. There's our mount bolts. Try to do this one-handed too. We'll just be doing this for a while. All right, at this point, we're going to fog inside the cylinders. We could also check for spark. We checked for spark in the easiest to get to cylinder, which for us was this guy, and it was good. The points on the distributor looked fine. so I think we're good. We already changed the spark plugs. But didn't have fogging spray while we were doing that, so right now we are just going to take those off one at a time, spray, and then we can hook our battery up back together. Oh, so we could check for spark, but we need a battery and to get it connected to a starter, and I don't really want to reconnect the starter until the new one is on there. So we're gonna do some fogging. I hate this spark plug. I never want to touch it again. Fogged it, trust me. That's one, and this is the tool that we have to use. We barely get in range. It's gonna be a long process. I thought I would have good angles for this, but it's just not turning out okay. Maybe on the other side we'll have some good angles of spraying. But please trust me, I did this job, and it was a lot of work. That's a plug wire. Believe me when I say I cried. Here you go, as promised. Probably get flagged if I don't correct myself. This is holding it upside down. Eventually you just get the aerosol. Up top, that's the good stuff. So let's do it again. Slightly, but not really. Better angle of attack. Not the best setup. We've got our universal joint. Extension back to our torque wrench. Walker had another plug wire line around. It's discolored. We have 3 good blue, 1 black. All right, we're on this side now. Theoretically the better side. I am not going to film this because my phone is about to die, and because I'm about to get stung by a wasp, and I hate wasps. You'll just have to trust that I did this to all of them. Have my extension on there, and the sun is getting real low.
Sun's getting real low.
Some people say do the top last because it needs something to hang off of. I get that. I hear you. But I don't like that. We're gonna do it this way. Sometimes it's depressing putting new stuff on old cars. And then we'll reconnect at the back. All right, we're back on there. That's a, where's my finger? That's a 3/8 inch. These are 9/16 sockets. Need to cut off some guarding on the cable. Otherwise, should be good to go. Just have to do one more cable, and you'll never guess where this guy actually ends up mounting to. Down there. It's behind that mounting point. The mounting bracket that keeps the other one away from the engine. Yeah, so we'll take that off, put a new one on. All right, try to talk about this a little bit quick. That hole is just a little bit too big for this guy. This is our mounting bolt. The ground cable goes in here. There's some bracketry for the brake lines, and then there is the battery cable mounting bracket that goes on at the end with the 9/16 nut. This is a 5/8. So, just gotta drill it out. That's what I'm gonna do. All right, it fits. Should be able to mount that back up and rock and roll. And it's raining. Oh yeah. Take this, put it in here. Let's see if we have enough juice on the phone to get all the video I need. I'm tired, I'm dirty, I'm aggravated. Let's just hope this thing works. Pressing. Thunder.
I don't know how to do this recap.
I'm not a car guy.
I started this rebuild when I still had my Jeep Compass, then the Ford Exploder, before I finally got the Ford Probe and decided to buckle down and stop feeling like an idiot when it came to car repair. I spent a lot of time with the Ford Probe, got it running comfortably, and then I thought, I'm okay. I got to a level that I wanted to get to. I had repaired a vehicle. My goal with the Bronco changed, and I just wanted to get it put back together to sell. My family doesn't need 4 vehicles. And then it was put together, and I wanted to try it. I wanted to get it running again. And it was hard. I invited as many people as I could think of to blitz the Bronco to life. Some showed up, but for the most part, I did this entire build by myself. And now it runs. There's a lot more that could be done, but let's get some tires now. Thanks for watching. I haven't asked in a while, but if you like this video, then let me know through the like buttons and comments below. Subscribe if you want more vehicle adventures. Thanks again, and I'll see you all in the next one.